Hi, it's Xavier. Today we're going to tackle the olives, and I'm going to be a big thank you to Andy of Bonsai Crazy, who just recently did an airlay of an olive and reminded me that I've got to get to work on these. Traditionally, it's quite difficult to get a consistent bit of advice of when you can prune your olives, especially hard prune, which is what I'm looking to do today. And the reality is you can do them most of the year round, but things are just starting to grow out, so early September seems to be the time when I want to get on with it. So this is all about pruning. They're not coming out, they got repotted last year. I'm going to be doing some real basic decisions, and the birds are going absolute crackers right now. So let's get to it, shall we? This first tree, a lot of suckers have been growing, so before we can do anything, let's remove the suckers. There's another big one there. Okay. I've no doubt that you can do cuttings with them, but I really don't need any more trees. Now looking at this, I'll give it a spin. Lots of growth. And trying to find an appropriate front. That's going to get taken off. I'll leave that for now. But that's all dead. So it's just looking where there's a bit of movement in it, and also on the base. Now the key thing with the first styling, I mean the real first styling of an olive, especially if it's come out of the ground, and this was imported from Spain, is you really go back hard, which means you're taking off a lot of growth, and it should all grow back quite nicely. And the way I'm going to do this is get rid of some real obvious issues. Got a big upward growing one there. So we're going to get rid of that. Okay. Then we're looking for a trunk line of sorts. Okay, we know the trunk, we know it's not going to be that one. Following it round, we're looking to see, we're going to have this movement here. It might be worth, if I can remove that with these. Lovely. Okay. I love my ratchet secateurs. I will just nibble away a bit of that. All of that's actually dead, so I'm not having to. Okay, so got a big ugly knob there, which we'll probably take off. Okay, so I've taken off that. Got a line coming in. All right, in here, this branch here, I think is going to get in the way of everything. I'm going to clear it right out, and I think the truth is, I'm going to test. Actually, I'm going to test olive to the extreme. I nearly lost track then. I was almost trying to do a sort of secondary or tertiary development pruning, and the reality is, I'm taking this back to basics. So this is primary structure, which means I want to find those primary branches and then grow from there, which means I just want basically stubs, and what I'm looking for is new growth to come from them. Now, do I keep that one there? Even if you look at it from here, that's coming from the middle of a great big knobble, so we don't really want that. Okay, we've got knobble here, we don't want that. Okay, so if we've got a line of a tree, an upward one we don't want there. Okay. It's a great big heavy branch here. I'm wondering If we're going for the front in there, we've got a back branch. Back branch low down. Don't want anything going on the inside. Okay, so that's all coming towards. So now I think we're definitely looking front in there somewhere. It's going out that way. So to this branch. Okay. Alright, so these are basic. We're basically creating a stump, if you haven't worked out by now. And I truly honestly believe that this will encourage loads of budding. I think we're going to keep that. Got great horrible dead bits in the back, although again we've got a live one there, so let's go for that one, shall we? Got a bit shorter than I thought it would. Okay, I don't know what I'm cleaning up because I'm going to be cutting back those. The truth is, if that's the size, then really it's too big, isn't it? Think proportion. Hands up if you thought I was going to go that far. I believe it'll respond brilliantly. I'll seal all those wounds up. In fact, I'll do that now, and then we'll give it a quick spin, and then we're going to go and hack the other two. Okay, well, we're back to it. I've got all the cut paste on it, and that's olive number 1. Give it a spin. If that grows as it should, I'm really impressed. It's got lovely movement in that. It certainly looks a lot smaller though than some of the things that the big collectors get. I'm sure Sam will just be laughing at this as a little starter tree. Probably could have taken that actually further back, but I just wanted to make sure we've got a back branch on it. And it could be actually that actually gets taken all the way and we've just got 2 prongs on this, but that decision can be made later on. But I think that is potentially going to make an absolute brilliant showing olive. So that's the first European olive done, and there's Jay's carnage bucket. And rest assured, Jay, I continue to pray for you, and I do look forward to seeing your top 7 from 7 at some point in the future. So let's go to olive number 2, shall we? Olive number 2 is a little bit more difficult, but again, I had to stop myself from trying to think of the secondary structure and things like that. I'm looking at primary. So we'll give it a spin now. Again, it's not as massive as any of the others. This one's definitely a lot more difficult because I'm already trying to think of branches I can save, and actually I may well be better off going almost right back to the trunk. I mean, that's leaning right in. You know, I'm looking somewhere, it's going to be somewhere there, I think. But again, I'm going to have to clear stuff out first, I think. I was trying to work out whether I could use that, potentially. But, or there's this one. So let's get rid of stuff that we know we wouldn't. And I don't know about that. It's hard to know because of the way that comes across. Oh, 2 RAF Eurofighters. You can't see them, I can. Okay, that's the RAF gone. I'm a little shocked. Every part of me is screaming I'm going to have to take this right back. I'm getting distracted by all this up here. I think that's going to create a knuckle. So let's get rid of the knuckle. I don't like that, actually. Maybe it is almost like treating it like a trident maple stump. Got that one under there. Okay, so we've got to do that. Where would the front be? Well, the front could be anywhere. It's just looking for the best shape there, isn't it? Do you know what? The front could be there, I think. Okay. Well, I went a bit further than I thought there as well. Let's clean this up and I'll give you a close-up. So this is number 2. Again, further than I thought I'd go. All cut pasted up. So say the front, I think it's going to be in around there. Again, I'm doing remember with the root planes on these. I had a look in a video I did last year when I did the repots, which you might see a card up there somewhere. And on all of these, root plate was very, very flat, which is what you tend to find with recovered olives or things like that, because they're cut flat. These are quite small then. It's a little bit disappointed really. I thought they were much bigger than that when I had all that leaf on them. So anyway, so that's an interesting, I mean it could be this one actually goes as well and I really started here, but we'll see. Anyway, what I've started off is an olive stump, so let's go for the third one, shall we? Okay, here we go, olive number 3. This one, unlike the others, has got an incredible root spread on it. There's definitely some style. There's not a lot of roots in the center there. As we follow it round, we've got this beautiful, beautiful root structure there. You know, ideally your front is going to be this broad base, but truthfully, a lot of those roots here may get removed and there might be a lot better underneath. But I've got to again decide, what are we going to do? We've got this great big heavy thing coming here at an angle. That's already screaming out to me, no. So let's get rid of the obvious issue. Okay. Okay, that's a great big chunk nibbled out. So, this horrible little thing in there, and I don't actually like the way this is coming up either. I'm wondering whether this branch here could be the way ahead, I don't know. This goes over far too much. Again, straight roots, so I can't really look at that. Right, same thinking, I think, same thinking. Maybe I can just take I don't know. It's an awkward, very awkward looking. But if that's the front, it could. Oh well, that's decided that one. Oh, birds weren't happy about that little mistake. Goodness. Do you know what? You know what I'm going to do, don't you? Oh, or maybe we get a bit of inverse swelling on up here. don't know. I want to let this grow up. If that continues to grow, because we're going to need to repair all this, there's quite a lot taken from there. It may be that I might actually end up taking off here. This one's do I take this one off as well? No, I'm going to keep that one. Okay, that will do for now. I'll clean it up, get the wound sealed, and then I'll show you what it's going to do. Probably could have taken that branch off, to be honest, but we'll see. I just want to see how that goes. With all these three, they're going to get heavily fed. Bran flakes probably, they do well for me. There is potentially going to be some inverse issues up there, but we'll see. So there it goes. And I mean, and obviously a lot of these roots here I can actually remove, so the front isn't necessarily dictated by that spread. We've got a nice basal spread there already. Truthfully, I've never done this with the olives to this extent before. I was encouraged by just how much I got budding from the air layer I did last year from that stump. I didn't realise it would happen so easily. And then again, obviously with what Andy said from Bonsai Crazy and what Sam's talked about, it's encouraged me to do this, and I'm glad I have. And all I'm going to do now is I've got two smaller ones that I've had for about 4 years, and I'm going to do the same thing to them. So probably only take a couple of minutes and then we're done. Let's get to it, shall we? This first one's one I should have cut back ages ago, but now's as good a time as any. If I muck it up completely and it doesn't respond as I thought, it was £5 I spent quite a while ago. But as it stands, it's nice, but it doesn't do anything. So I'm going to make a decision straight away. If the front is somewhere about there, we need to get rid of this. That's a very, very straight branch. So what I want to try and do is encourage go. There we go. And truthfully, do I know if it'll come back? I don't know. We'll find out, shall we? That could be good to find out anyway. Obviously I need to seal that up. Should really, probably better off putting a cut paste on the end, but I haven't got it around right now. Okay, so that's that one done. Okay, this second one, well, they've all been a bit difficult because I haven't thought about them early enough. I can stress too much. If you're going to get olives, get that basic trunk you want first, that primary structure. Develop that first. It's the same as you would do with a trident maple, and I failed to do that on these. And again, you know, it looks pretty or basic, but, and I could leave it like this, but if you move it around, you've got this very, very extreme bend here on that, which there continues to go that way. They don't really lend themselves to literati from what I've seen, so I've just got this lovely straight trunk here. I could try and use that, but I don't think that in itself is particularly appealing. So the line I'm looking for is there, then jigging up there. The other option would be to follow that line up there, across, follow this branch up, and then up again, and then look at removing that. So we'll do it in stages. So the first thing I'll do is see what happens it looks if I just take off those, those. Those. It's still this problem here. I don't like that. So let's get rid of that. there's something to say that you could go, it's fairly straight, you could actually have it coming off like that, although that is thicker than this. It's my favourite right angle bend then, don't like those. The smaller they are, the harder these decisions get to make actually. If I cut that one off, that's a very, very straight line there. Okay. It's still quite a straight. Okay. Front could be in there somewhere actually. So I'll seal up the wounds. Okay, so all cleaned up. And despite all the cutting I've done, I actually like that better than the original. At least it looks like there's a direction. There's something I'm trying to get from it, and we'll see how the back budding occurs. Definitely going to be the front's going to be there. Okay, so that's my fun with European olive. I've gone a lot harder than I even imagined I would, but I do feel confident about what I've done. And if you're not so sure, well, watch what happens here. I'm sure we'll certainly know within the next couple of months whether or not it's been a success or not. I'm happy regardless. They're actually going to start to look like bonsais, so I've given them the best chance. Feed them up, put them down the garden now and let them go, and we'll have a look at them maybe in June, July. Hopefully we'll have some results by then. So I've only got one other olive left to look at, to be fair, and that's the air layer. But I think that'll all be happening next week. I've got a whole lot of air layers there to have a look at and see just how great the sphagnum moss was. Got the elderberries, they've got to be potted up. I've got another Fuji cherry, great big nursery one I've got to do. So much. It's so hard knowing what to pick for you. I'm trying to pick different stuff, but I've also got all the stuff that needs to be done, and I never really know what anyone wants. Anyway, from Xavier at the patio end of the garden, enjoying the fact that we are now getting into spring and I can get some work done. I say thanks very much for taking the time to watch. Please comment if there's anything that you want to ask or even recommendations, and until I see you again, I'll say happy bonsaiing, God bless, cheers.